So you started your channel. Congratulations about that. This is so exciting. Start out this idea you had in mind for so long, and you actually do the step that many others don't, and record the first and 2 and 3 videos and actually upload them to the channel. This is important step, but then you discover many other stuff that nobody told you about. And one of them is the imposter syndrome, that you feel like fake, you feel like you don't know what you are doing, and you share insights and tips that are not profoundly based on data sets, research, lack of actual expertise. You start to doubt yourself whether you are actually supposed to give that piece of advice, right? And this is what I want to share in this video. 3 actionable tips that help me overcome my imposter syndrome as a creator here on YouTube and also on my blog. That being said, a quick disclaimer, I'm not a professional or licensed therapist or life coach or whatever. I just share what has improved my experience with this phenomena, the imposter syndrome, and continue with content creation more naturally and hassle-free. And so I don't know your specific situation, and I'm not licensed to give you advice on that. So with that in mind, this is the first step. What you should do is knowing the fact that everyone, even beginners, even person who hasn't created any piece of content at all, have some knowledge to share with the world, right? Some valuable knowledge that he accumulated over the course of his life. It can be from very specific things, technical things. For example, I shared with WordPress a frustrating issue with the widgets, some error when you try to update something when with a connecting related to the JavaScript. So I shared this piece of information and a lot of people found it helpful. It's not in this channel, it's in my other channel. Though this kind of thing that you learn along the way in your journey, specific advice, specific knowledge that you earn, some problem, most of the time it will be related to specific problems that you didn't find solution, you Google it and you just came with your own, right? And you want to share it genuinely to help others, right? And people appreciate that, they seek that, they search about that. So when you start, it's very recommended to target search term on YouTube, not just going to the feed and attracting users, enticing them to click your thumbnail, but this is more advanced. So first you need to target search terms, what people are actually searching, and that can be related to your issue that you solve. So everyone has something to share with the world on YouTube and on other platforms. So if you are aware of that, you are less concerned about being an imposter, because first you do it very concretely. You don't share big life advice. You share a specific tip on how to overcome specific problem that you face. And secondly, it relaxes you because you don't aim to be somebody you are not. You don't present yourself as an expert who gives big advice on how to be happy, how to find a good job, and how to make millions online in your side hustle. No. Another example, I gave specific advice on how I found a hack to become more consistent creator here on blogging as well as on YouTube. I will devote an entire video about that. It will be here in the cards. It's called the puzzle hack. So check that for sure. I didn't overpromise. This is what you should be aware of too. You need to captivate the attention of the audience, but at the same time, don't overpromise, because there people would just see it's clickbait, or you just under-deliver what you promise and they would just bounce from your video, right? So don't do that. Be specific, don't overpromise, and that will help you to calm down your nerves from overthinking about you being an imposter. So the second actionable tip to overcome imposter syndrome as a creator is sharing more journey-related content, as I call it. Journey-related content means sharing live advice, not even step-ahead advice, which is very valuable, and this is what mostly recommended, especially on written platform like blogs and social media like X and so on. There you share what you have already achieved and you share your insights about that, or a specific problem you solved and you share the solution. Here it's a bit different. And that also can help you first provide valuable content to your audience, and second, calm down your buzz, imposter syndrome insect that comes to you all the time. What I mean by that, sharing live advice. For example, you as the advice, you are the challenge, right? You face a challenge, I face camera confidence challenge. I'm myself insecure right now, and I'm sharing you live how I deal with that and hopefully overcome the challenge. And first of all, it's more captivating in terms of entertaining, right? Because the ending is open. You don't know what will happen compared to educational content when you say 3 tips and you will have 3 tips from somebody who already have some insight about this problem. No, here you're facing the problem live, not live technically, right? You don't go live on YouTube, even though you can do that as well. But I mean live in a sense that you face the problem and record yourself as you face the problem. And this has genuine value for your audience because, first of all, it makes you more entertaining because it's open ending, but also it makes you a related character for the people who watched you, right? Because if I gave you advice out of top of the creator chain after getting millions of subscribers and money, which is legit, of course, then I will be more professional but less relatable because I already forgot in a way what I learned so long time ago, right? Because now I deal with different issues with how to hire a team and all that sort of stuff. But then when I record video about the early stage of how to start a YouTube channel, when I forgot about that, I will be very professional at it and I get tons of views, of course, but I will be less relatable because when I, for example, as a viewer, watch such great content creators online, they are so successful that even though I admire them and learn from them so much and they help me so much, at the same time, because I want so much inside of me to be already a successful creator myself, and I'm so far from that yet, it's kind of annoying me if that makes sense. You are so far away. And on the other hand, if I see a beginner creator sharing his advice, and the algorithm recently has given more chances to small creators like me and you, if you haven't noticed in your home feed, more beginner creators are popping up and YouTube giving them more chance than ever before. So this is the right time for you to share this kind of journey related advice, things that you face just now when you have small audience. You share as you face the problem. You are facing the actual problem that your audience is facing. So this is very valuable to your audience, and of course, more importantly, it helps you calm down this bad feeling of being an imposter, because you are not trying to be an expert on the thing. You are not a successful creator sharing how you reached there, but rather you share your own insecurities and how you overcome the barriers that you are talking about. This can be done just on video platforms. On the blog, I can't share that. I can, but most of the people would not get value of it because they want to solve problem and get the solution from the text, skim the text and want the solution. And if I just ramble about how I face with it, there is no value. This is where the visual value goes. So here in YouTube, which is a long form platform, is the best platform for that. And now we go to the last tip, the third tip of overcoming imposter syndrome as a beginner creator. This part is a bit controversial maybe, but I will say it. It's about fake it until you make it. This old school famous quote that we heard about. It still serves us because I believe it does, because to some degree in marketing, it's not about lying. It is also about over-promising, as I said before. It's a fine line between that and not being too close and too humble and not providing any value. You have to amplify what you say a bit, and that can resonate better with the audience because it's like energy. Maintaining energy here, right? I talk about that a lot in this channel, is about you need to be a bit uplifted version of yourself here on camera. If you are introverted, be yourself, be authentic, talk quietly, talk calmly, but give a bit of boost of energy before you record yourself, just because on camera you need to be slightly more entertaining compared to what people expect from this, right? And so the same goes here. You need to extend a bit what you say and package it in a more captivating way. That's tricky tricky because that's what triggers imposter syndrome, right? Because you just stop recording yourself and then think, oh no, in the evening it was awesome, but what was I doing? I'm not that professional in what I said, and it's not exactly right. And it's these hesitations that can provide you so much anxiety. Believe me, I know. And so if you know that you have to live the fake it until you make it, this is part of the game of being a creator. And this is something not many people talk about, but you need to do so because otherwise you will just not attract anyone. You will be in your own box, too humble, and nobody will be interested in what you have to say. Like the energy. If you talk too slow, too quiet, too insecure, even if it's the version of yourself in real life, don't do that. You need to upgrade your presence and bring some more energies to that artificially. And the same with the imposter syndrome. A good example for that is speaking in English, right? If you are a non-native speaker, this is one of the first things that cause you imposter syndrome because you speak on your channel in English, not about English, about other things, not about you improving your English, but on other thing, professional thing in your field, in your niche, and people will not exactly understand everything you say, maybe, or they will think about your accent and so on, and they will even comment about that, some negative comment, and it will hit you. Whoa, maybe I should go back to my native language. Maybe I'm not supposed to record myself in English, my second language, because I'm not that professional in English. I'm not a native speaker. I don't speak that quickly as these native speaking creators speak. And so this is something that caused me a lot of different layer of imposter syndrome. And what you should do is the same. Using all these 3 tips, know that you have some knowledge, you have valuable knowledge, regardless of the language, first of all, to provide value. And people are actually looking for value. And if you speak okay and you are clear enough, even if you have accent, they will appreciate your value. They appreciate your attempt to solve their issue that caused them so much stress in life or blocks them from moving forward with the idea, with their content creation endeavor or other things in life. Speaking in English can cause you feel an imposter because it's not your first language. And you can embrace these tips. First, do you have knowledge? Second, you create or you improve your English. And this way you are not pretend to be native English speaker, but you actually show how you improve your English as a non-native. This is something I do here. And finally, you just need to embrace the fact that you fake it until you make it. You improve your English, but in a while you don't freeze and don't make any content. You just make the content in your current English and you improve it on the fly. And this way you improve and your pronunciation is better and your vocabulary is more extended and you are more fluent, of course. It takes time, and that's not a reason not to create content on the go. This is the egg and the chicken. You need to create the content to become better in English. So remember all these facts that can help you reduce the level of your imposter syndrome in English. So these were my 3 actionable tips to overcome the imposter syndrome as a creator, especially as a beginner creator. And I hope you found value in that. If you did, please hit the like button. It helps a lot. And subscribe to this channel where I share valuable tips slightly ahead of you and about befriending the camera and getting confidence in general and improving your spoken English as a non-native speaker, but also with live challenges I share, like this one where I shared my most extreme challenge speaking in English in the public space. Watch it if you haven't already, and see you there.